Hey guys, welcome to How To and Few. Today, our main objective is that we're going to change some blades on this lawnmower. Now this is going to be a Craftsman lawnmower with 3 blades, but double blade lawnmowers and even other brand lawnmowers are going to be changed pretty much the same way. And then I have a couple of other things that we're going to do, routine maintenance things, since we're going to have the undercarriage out from under the lawnmower. It's going to be a lot easier doing oil change and some other things before we cut the grass today. Alright, first thing we're going to do is get the mowing deck from under the lawnmower. That's going to require disconnecting some of the attachments and loosening up the belt. To loosen the tension on the belt, we're going to undo this bar right here and swing it out so that the belt loosens. Then we need to reach underneath and take the belt off of the pulley from the engine. Alright, the next step is to remove these pins that are holding the bonnet to the front of the lawnmower. So I'm going to push from in here. Now I have both of them off. The mowing deck, you can see how retainers have fallen out of place. Alright, the last connection to the mower deck is located here. A little bit hard to see, but it's a pull handle on both sides that's spring loaded. I think we are released now. Now on some mowers, the mower deck can just be slid out from underneath without raising the lawnmower, but this mower is a little bit larger. So we'll raise the mower. Hopefully now we can pull it free. Alright, I don't want the belt to come off of the pulley, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it around there just so that there's some tension. And then I'll go ahead and flip the mower deck over. Alright, looking at the blades, they don't look too bad. I probably could have got away with just sharpening them. We're going to take note what side's the cutting side. This is the back wing that deflects the blades. So this is the cutting side, meaning that they turn in this direction. So remember that to make sure we put the blades on right. It's been a while since I changed the blades, and I really thought they'd look a lot worse than this. Alright, in order to remove the blade, we have to take this bolt out, which I've already done, but the camera was not recording. We're using a breaker bar and a proper socket. Now notice that the blade moves as I'm trying to undo this, so by putting in a 2x4, we can block the blade and break the bolt loose, remove the bolt, and then remove the blade. Okay, with all 3 blades loose, we can now replace them. Okay. And nobody told me that I was putting on upside down. And I even made a note of it before, but noticing that the fins were angled down instead of up, it was a dead giveaway that these blades were not in the correct orientation. Alright, so tightening the bolts is the opposite of loosening them. We're using the board to hold it, and now all 3 are tight. Alright, while we have it upside down, I'm going to remove these pins. Alright, now the front wheels are replaced with some better wheels. I'm missing one of the back wheels. It's ripped off completely, but that's how it goes when you got a rough yard. Alright, so while we have the deck out, we'll go ahead and change the oil because it's a little easier to get to the drain here and not make a mess. The mower deck out of the way. Here you can see part of a hose that I attached to the drain to keep it from running along the side of the mower. And I'm going to try to zoom in. There's a little valve there. And let me get on it. There. When you turn that, you open the valve and the oil leaks out. And once it's done, we can refill it on the top side. Now, from doing this in the past, I know that the valve actually moves. The valve likes to move more than the... Try to brace the valve a little bit. Alright, we should see some oil coming out the bottom. There we go. Alright, while we are working or waiting for the oil to finish draining, which is just about done, we're going to go ahead and take the air filter off and go ahead and replace that. There's a butterfly nut on the front of a plastic covering. And once we remove that, we'll see that there's another butterfly nut. Alright, once you got that butterfly nut loose, the cover moves away. We can kind of see the air filter now, and we can see how nice and dirty the covering is. There's another butterfly nut on the front of that we're going to loosen, and that will allow us to remove the air filter. Now, your filter is probably going to be very dirty, so as you remove it, you want to be careful not to shake too much dust off so that it doesn't get into the carburetor body. Alright, so here are our two air filters, and we need to make the new one look like the old one. So first thing we're going to do is move the metal housing over to the other one. And then put the dust barrier around our air filter. Alright, now we'll put the new air filter back on and then tighten it down with the first wing nut. Alright, now we'll replace the covering, which has the wing nut built onto it. And once that's tight, we are back to how we were. Alright, next thing on the agenda is going to be the fuel filter over here and oil filter. But let me go ahead and close the valve on the other side and move the drain pan over here because we're likely to spill some oil when we take that oil filter off. Alright, now we're going to remove the oil filter. We're expecting some oil to spill out there as we do it. And go ahead and put that in the oil pan. Alright, we want to clean the surface where the oil filter came off so that we don't have any leaks. Alright, before we put the new filter on, much like an automobile filter, we're going to moisten the seal around the oil filter with a little bit of old oil that's leaking out the engine. It doesn't take much just to get it moist so that it doesn't melt against the engine and give us trouble to take off. And we screw the filter back on until it's hand tight, and we are done with the oil filter. The fuel filter is typically a little bit messier. We're going to have some fuel spill, so we want to kind of do this as quick as possible. First thing I'm going to do is move these clamps back and off of the fuel filter, and then kind of twist the fuel filter to loosen it. Now notice on the new fuel filter there's a direction of flow. We want to flow to the engine, so I'm going to make sure that we're in the right orientation. And there we go. That went a little bit better than expected. And I'm going to go ahead and move these clamps back into position. Fuel filter is done now too. Okay, so sadly it doesn't appear to have the gap listed on the spark plug. But if I seem to recall right, it should be around 0.3, 0.03, and that's the way it came, so we're going to leave it right there. The spark plugs are located here. You just pull out this spark plug boot. Okay. While the gap is a little bit small, the plug actually still looks pretty good. Now we'll insert the new one. Careful not to mess up our gap. And also we're going to do this by hand to make sure we don't cross thread into the head of this motor. Just a little tightness, not too much. There's a crush washer on this plug that gets crushed that provides a seal, so we don't have to worry about tightening it too hard. And then our spark plug boot clicks back on, and we'll repeat it on the other side, and then fill the oil and we'll be done. Alright, now we're filling the oil. This particular engine takes 2 quarts. And then we'll be ready to crank her up and make sure that everything's good. And then we'll put the mower deck back in place, maybe lubricate a couple of items, and we'll be ready to cut some grass. Alright, now we got the mowing deck out. While we have it out, it'd be a good time to grease all the spindles. Okay, with the lawnmower jack back up, I'm going to undo the belt from my little hook. Attempt to slide the mower deck back under. Okay, after checking both sides, we seem to be in the right place. I'm going to go ahead and lower it. The first thing I'm going to try to do is line up these front pins again. Okay, with my clips ready, I'm going to lift and attempt to line up. Hopefully with a little pressure. I'll be able to reinsert each clip. There we go. Front is done. Alright, with the 2 rear clamps back on, only thing left is to put the belt back on. And then we'll tighten up the tensioner. And we're ready to cut grass. So that's it. That's how you change the blades on your lawnmower, and a few other things in there. We're going to go ahead and check the tire pressure, make sure they're all up to spec. and then it's off to the races to cut some grass. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, give me a thumbs up. That goes a long way to help me out, or subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video. Either way, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.